Alrighty, page 2 of our circle notes. The first part is going to deal with completing the square. It's exactly like we did with the spheres, except that we're only going to complete the square twice instead of 3 times. So we want to rewrite the equation into standard form so we can easily identify the center and the radius. So just like with the sphere, I'm going to group my x's together, but then I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to group my y's together, and then I'm going to leave a space, and I'm going to move the constant to the other side. So then completing the square on the x's. Remember, you take b over 2 quantity squared. So half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. But you add it to the left, then you have to add it to the right. I do the same thing here. Half of 4 is 2, 2 squared is 4. But if you add it to the left, then you have to add it to the right. These are now perfect square trinomials, so I can factor them. What multiplies to 4 and adds to 4? 2 and 2. So we get x plus 2 quantity squared. What multiplies to 4 and adds to negative 4? Negative 2 and negative 2. So y minus 2 quantity squared. So remember, these signs are always going to match the sign from above. And then add these numbers up and you get 9. So our center would be negative 2. 2. The square root of 9 gives us a radius of 3. So B, again, I put my x's together and left a space. Then I put my y's together and left a space. I moved my constant to the other side. Now complete the square. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. If I add it to the left, I have to add it to the right. Complete the square. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. If I add it to the left, I have to add it to the right. I can now factor this. What multiplies to 9 and adds to 6, so I get x plus 3 squared. What multiplies to 36 and adds to negative 12, so I get y minus 6 squared. Add all this up and you get 4. So our center is negative 3, 6. The square root of 4 gives us a radius of 2. All right. C's a little bit trickier because we have these 9's out front. So first thing we want to do is divide both sides of the equation by 9. And then I'm going to group my x's together, and that would now be x squared plus 6x. Leave a space. I'm going to group my y's together, and that would give me y squared minus 4y. Leave a space. The 17 gets moved to the other side, but it also got divided by 9, so it's a negative 17/9. So now complete the square. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Add it to the left, add it to the right. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Add it to the left, add it to the right. This factors to x plus 3 squared. This factors to y minus 2 squared. I went ahead and changed this to 81 over 9 and 36 over 9 and added it all up to get 100 over 9. So my center is negative 3, 2. The square root of 100 over 9 is 10 over 3, so our radius is 10/3. Okay. And D. Again, I divided everything by 5, both sides of the equation, so that way I would get rid of these 5's in front of the x squared and y squared. I then grouped my x's together, so I have x squared minus 10 squared and leave a space. I grouped my y's together, so I have y squared minus 6y, leave a space. And I moved my constant to the other side, but notice it's a negative 25 because it also was divided by 5. So now complete the square. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Add it to the left, add it to the right. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Add it to the left, add it to the right. So this factors to x minus 5 squared. This factors to y minus 3 squared. The 25's cancel, so we're left with 9. So our center is 5, 3, and the square root of 9 gives us a radius of 3. Alrighty, last example. Find the x and y intercepts. So remember, intercepts, x intercepts, y equals 0. Y intercepts, x equals 0. So if I plug in 0 for y, then I get x plus 5 squared plus 16 equals 25. Subtract 16, x plus 5 squared equals 9. Take the square root of both sides, x plus 5 equals plus or minus 3. Subtract 5 from both sides. Well, 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. So my two x-intercepts are negative 2, 0 and negative 8, 0. Y-intercept, plug in x equals 0. So I get 25 plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. Y minus 4 squared equals 0 because I subtracted 25 from both sides. Take the square root and y minus 4 equals 0. There's no such thing as plus or minus 0. They're the same. Add the 4 and y equals 4. So we only have one y-intercept of 0, 4. Okay. So B, x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. So we end up with x minus 7 squared plus 64 equals 25. Subtract 64. X minus 7 squared equals negative 19. When we try to take the square root of a negative number is imaginary, so there are no real x-intercepts. Y-intercepts, plug in 0 for x. So we end up with 49 plus y minus 8 squared equals 25. Subtract 49 from both sides. Y minus 8 squared equals negative 24. Again, when we try to take the square root, you can't take the square root of a negative. It's imaginary, so we have no real y-intercepts. So this circle can be graphed, it just doesn't cross either axis. And that finishes up page 2 of circles. Yay! Alrighty, next week we're going to be into parabolas first, ellipses and hyperbolas, and we're going to be doing a cool Desmos activity with the parabolas. So tune in on Monday for that. Bye guys!